I don't know, is it me or are we somehow being stung by this NHS? I'm fed up with it, to be honest with you. I have been for a while. I don't understand it. I went to have my tax return done today. I've got a friend who very kindly does it for me, and for free. I can't say it took very long, mind you. The amount of money I earn, I can be done in the twinkling of an eye. But you know, at the end of the day, it's all self-employed, and you know, I've got to pay my whatever it is, the national insurance, extra national insurance contribution over and above the tenner that they take off of me every month. And in theory, I have no problem. I don't have any problems in paying my national insurance contribution. I'm a great believer in the welfare state. I'm perfectly happy for people to, for stuff, for people to be helped when, in times of need. And I've had my own times when I've needed stuff, and what comes around goes around. I don't like the fact that there's these people who abuse it, but I'm a great fan of it. I don't like the idea of private medicine across the board. I think if you want to have private medicine, well, have some private medicine, but I do believe in a really good functional welfare state rather than just a low level for people who are really in difficulties. So I'm quite happy to pay my national insurance contribution. And it turned out not to be too much this year, but the point is that I pay my national insurance contribution and then I have to pay again. I don't get it. I pay my national insurance contribution. There's two examples. I'm supposed to be going for a scan for something I shan't go into, but anyway, it's an expensive scan, one of these modern clever things with nuclear medicine department of the local hospital, where they put a radioactive I think it's radioactive iodine that they stick on an antibody or something, which then attaches to the neurotransmitters in my brain, supposedly, if I've got any. And he's supposed to glow and show up whether I've got some horrible bloody disease or not. But the thing about it is expensive. And I went last year. This is how long this saga's been going on with the NHS. I went last year to let's have this moved over a bit, shall we? So see if we can get rid of that shining over there. Is that any better? That window is a pain in the backside. It's right in line with where I sit and try and talk to you, and it shines right in. I hope it's not disturbing you too much. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, and I went last year for this scan, to see him about having the scan, and this bloke, the consultant, he said, you can have this scan, you can sit around and wait and see whether the condition gets any worse. He said, but if you want to know what's actually up with you, you can have this scan. The only problem is it costs you 980 quid. 980 quid, I might add. 980, and I pay my national insurance contributions like everybody else. And I said, well, the point is it's not, don't get me wrong, if he was saying to me, you've got a tumour in your brain, if we can find out exactly where it is, we can operate on it and you'll be right as ninepence, and if we leave it, you won't be. I'd have been forking out the £980 faster than he could, than you say Jack Robinson. But the point was, it's a diagnosis for a degenerative disease. I shan't go on and bore you with it and bang my own bloody drum, sit on my pity pot. But that's what it is, isn't it? And the point is I'm going to have it or I'm not going to have this blooming disease, and well, having the scan ain't going to make any difference whether I've got the disease or not. And at the end of the day, I'd rather spend £980 on a nice holiday if I have got the disease to go and see a few things that I haven't seen yet. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. The point is the money. Anyway, I didn't have it, and then I went back to see him again, for them to check on whether I've got any worse or what have you. And I went back to see him again, and I saw the specialist nurse for the condition that's involved, and she said, "Well, you ought to have this scan." I said, "Yeah, for £980, I bloody should." She said, "Oh no, it's free." I said, "Well, last year it was £980 for this scan." And she said, "Oh well, that's because they'd run out of the allocation." What kind of a system is that? So I said, "What are you on about?" She said, "Oh, well, we get allocated 30 of these scans a year, and when they've gone, you have to pay to have it done, 980 quid. I've never heard such nonsense in all my life. Bloody lottery. Some poor sods ain't... Well, I haven't got 980 quid that I can find easily, but there's some poor buggers that ain't got it at all. And so, there's this lottery system that if you don't... And you don't know about it either. It was the new financial year. She said, "Oh, it's the new financial year, you can have it for free." I don't know, I've never heard anything like it. And then I've got to have a tooth crowned. That's the one that really gets me. What? Suppose you go to an NHS dentist, a National Health Service, supposedly, dentist, right? Well, the National Health Service, free at the point of use. That's the idea, Bevin and all that. Go to the National Health dentist, go in there, crown 200 quid. And how do they justify it? I shouldn't be paying it because it's a National Health Service, free at the point of use. But let's assume I've got to pay for it. £200. The bloke sticks a needle in you. Okay, he's been trained and all this business and so on and so forth. But literally sticks a needle in you, does a bit of prep on your tooth. 10 minutes? Not even that. 5 minutes. Sticks a load of disgusting shite in your mouth that turns into a mould, that gets then sent off to the technician. Now, yeah, that's quite okay. And I know a bit about mould making. I've done a lot of mould making in my time, at my other lives as a in the medical industry, making parts for body parts through mould. So it's not like I don't know what I'm talking about. And there's a little bit involved in making the mould for the crown and then pouring the crown. And then all that's left to be done then by the dentist is to stick it in. Literally the last visit, all they do is put a bit of glue on it, go and stick it in place, and then go bite, shut, and then they give it a little bit of a trim if the bite isn't quite right. If I were in there in a total with the dentist for prepping the crown for, I don't know, 20 minutes, half hour, I'd be surprised. And then it's just the dental technician making. Now, bearing in mind, I hasten to add that £200 is subsidised by the NHS as well. So how much is it? How much are they really charging for this stuff? But the funny thing is, I don't know about crowns, but I've noticed my parents go to an ordinary private dentist, and you know what? Their charges aren't that much more. And now whether that varies from dentist to dentist, because they're private, they can charge what they like, I suppose. And in some cases with the private dentist, my mother walks in there because she's old as old, and her teeth, she's still got some, mind, which is fair play to the woman. But she walks in there, and sometimes they'll just go, "Oh, Mrs. Fuller, you can sit in the seat," and go a quick wing around and stick a little bit of padding in somewhere or another. And say, "Oh no, there's no charge today, Mrs. Fuller. See you next time." Bloody wouldn't get that from a National Health dentist, I tell you. You've got to fill in half a dozen ruddy forms, and everything has to be by the book, and they wouldn't get anything for blooming free going in one of those places, I tell you. I don't understand it. We pay our dues, free at the point of use it's supposed to be. And, well, with all the cuts that are coming in and the reorganisation of the health service, where is it going to end, we ask ourselves? Having doctors having to be accountants and, as opposed to being doctors, and this tendering business, what's that all about? Tendering for hospitals, tendering for blooming jobs, from doctors. Who's going to send them to where? Or we'll do it cheaper than the place down the road. What on earth is that all about? Oh, I have no idea where this is all going to end, but hey ho, there you go. Touch wood, I've still got my health at the moment, still managed to walk around, so Mustn't grumble, eh? Ta-ra.